I'm now officially 3 months into my pregnancy with baby number 2, and today I'm sitting down to share with you the symptoms and things I've experienced within the last month of pregnancy, also kind of weeks 9 through 13. Hey guys, I'm Marissa and welcome back to my channel. I am expecting baby number 2 due in June 2022 and we are very excited. We have a 19-month-old son named Peter, and this baby and Peter will be 25 months apart by the time baby number 2 should be due. When I was pregnant with my first son, Peter, I did weekly updates here on my channel all about everything I was experiencing with pregnancy, but this time around, second time mom life, I'm just doing this every month because I feel like a lot of it is kind of redundant and I just feel like I don't have the time to make a video every week of sharing what I'm going through. But if you want to check it out week by week exactly, then I will leave a link to that playlist up above. But if you want to follow along with this second pregnancy and everything that we're going through, then scroll down and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any new videos, and hang out with us as we are expecting baby number 2. So I'll be going kind of week by week, I guess. I've been taking notes in my phone of what I've felt every week for pregnancy. So today's video is weeks 9 through 13. And then I'll also show you a bump update because this will be the first video with a bump update because I definitely already feel it right now. Oh, and then I also forgot to say that I did my month 2 video. I will leave a link to that up above if you want to check out that last one. Also, for some reason, I look like I'm a ghost in this video today, but it's probably just me in Pacific Northwest in December, so there you go. Okay, week 9, I was experiencing some food aversions. Some of the bigger things that I really was having more aversions to at that time were like garlic or anything with like heavy spice or like scent, and then also just like pizza, which also I think goes with the garlic. I loved this type of pizza that we'd get at Costco that was like a freezer pizza, but I literally could not eat it. Like the thought of it was just like disgusting, like couldn't do it. So that was definitely a food aversion. I feel like I definitely haven't had as many this time with this pregnancy as I did with my first, and I think a lot of that is also attributed to I also feel less nauseous this pregnancy as I did with my first. Neither one I threw up, but I'm also like the type of person that I will do literally anything to not throw up. But anyway, I just feel like I've been less nauseous this time and therefore also have had like less food aversion. So I feel like those really go kind of together. I also recorded some cravings that I was having, which has been like cold cheese, like cold salty cheese, and also bread, and just like sourdough bread, and just like crackers and chips. And actually, as I'm sitting here, I'm having a little snack. Salt and vinegar chips are like the best. I love them. I also was feeling pretty tired and would try and like take a nap during the day as I like am home with my son. So when he'd take a nap, I'd try and take a little nap. And then also just a lot of burping, which I did not have my first pregnancy, but this time I burp a lot. So next week is 10 weeks, and this was when I went for my first ultrasound, which was exciting, and got to see this baby. We found out that baby is a boy. We did the sneak peek gender test. I did a video about it. I'll leave a link to up above. And then I also had that confirmed with the NIPT test when I took it at 10 weeks. So we are officially having a boy. We're very excited for Peter to have a brother, but 10 weeks is when I went for my first ultrasound, and everything looked great for baby. His heart rate was at like 165, which like the old wives' tales say that that was like a girl heart rate. So that was the only thing I was like, oh, maybe it could be a girl then. But no, definitely a boy. But I feel like a lot of the other like old wives' tale symptoms that I had, like with the salty foods and maybe being like less nauseous, like I definitely felt like led to a boy, which there you go, it was a boy. But 10 weeks, I also recorded some burping, some light nausea. Again, just not super bad. It was more just queasy, more just like feeling like I was a little car sick. And then also feeling tired. So week 11 was literally, I guess I recorded the exact same symptoms. So this is why it's like hard to do this video like every single week, but instead I feel like it's better by a month. But I recorded more burping, light nausea, and feeling tired. So just kind of getting toward the end of that first trimester. Week 12, I started experiencing more moderate sciatica pain. I noticed it a tiny little bit at like 8 weeks, and it was pretty mild, but it's now been a little bit more moderate, where like one time I was actually like laying on the floor like hanging out with my son Peter, and then I like could not get up. Like the pain hurt so bad in my like, you know, low back to hip area. and I, like, when I turn a certain way, it would like shoot down my leg. And so I like had to, thank goodness my husband works from home, because I literally called him on my Apple Watch and I was like, come get me off the floor. So pretty dramatic. But I have experienced more sciatica pain. I'm trying to do some like stretches to help with it. But it also honestly isn't as bad as what I experienced with my first pregnancy. The other thing I noted in 12 weeks was the nausea subsiding. I feel like I felt it like less and less during this time. But also I've just been tired. I think the fatigue has definitely been like the biggest thing for me this pregnancy. And I noted in here, I'm done past 8 p.m. It was like we put Peter down for bed at 7, and then we'd like hang out and watch a show or something like that. And then it was like I was done at 8 o'clock, which was hard for me because I like work for myself and like do everything here online and on YouTube and stuff. But I used to like work at night, and it would be I put Peter down and then I'd work. But for the last, couple of months since I've been pregnant, it's just been so hard to do any sort of work in the evening because I haven't felt well, and just been like so tired and exhausted. And so I noted after 8 o'clock, I'm just like done. I just need to shower, get in bed, like watch a show. Like I feel like I can't focus or like do any work. Like I'm just exhausted. So the other great thing is that during this time, we actually were getting Peter started at daycare at school. And so he's now been going to that 2 days a week, which is why I'm filming on a Tuesday morning. And that's been so good for him to have that exposure and be with other kids. And he's already learning so much. I feel like he's like coming home saying more things and having a really great time. And it's also allowed me to be able to have more time to work during the day, like when I feel well, which is really important. So grateful for that for many reasons, but we did start that around 12 weeks as well. The other thing I noted this week was shortness of breath, which is just kind of an ongoing thing since basically finding out I was pregnant. And I even noticed like when I sit down to film videos like this, I'm just like trying to catch my breath here, which is such a weird thing to experience like this early into pregnancy, but totally a thing. Okay, now 13 weeks. This week wasn't a super fun one, but a lot of it wasn't related to actually being pregnant. I caught a cold this week, and like I said, Peter's now at daycare. He caught his first cold from daycare after being there for like, a week. And it was like pretty mild though. Like he was totally fine. It was just a lot of congestion, runny nose stuff. You don't need to know all the details. But then the week after that, I caught what he had. So I just wasn't feeling great. I had a sore throat and was just feeling more like under the weather. So I took a few days to just rest, and it didn't last for very long. And I feel like I just turned 13 weeks today. And I feel like I now just have this like little bit of residual kind of runny nose congestion kind of stuff, which I'm thinking is hopefully just from the cold and not a pregnancy related thing. But it's been less than a week since I first started feeling the cold. So I feel like it's just like kind of wrapping up on that front. And I may sound a little bit more congested in this video, and I think it's because of that, of having a cold. But I will also say that I'm like not nauseous anymore. Like I don't feel it at all anymore. I feel really good. I feel like I'm more hungry. Like there's times where I'm like, I need to eat food right now. And it's not that I'm like, I need to eat or I'm going to throw up. It's like, I need to eat right now because I'm so hungry. Just like that intense hunger that you feel. Like I'm feeling that more of than like earlier. It was like, I need to eat right now or else I'm going to get sick. So I feel like that switched a little bit. I don't feel nauseous. And then I also have that continuation of the sciatica pain. So still just trying to do those stretches, and it's not like unbearable, but definitely not comfortable right now. But I was sharing on Instagram the other day that I'm just so grateful for a more mild pregnancy this time. And I feel like since I've been pregnant the second time, I'm now realizing how difficult my first pregnancy was. If you followed me during that time, then you know, but if you didn't, then my pregnancy with Peter, I was like, felt the nausea and the morning sickness and everything leading up to 10 weeks. And then at 10 weeks, I all of a sudden was like literally the day I turned 10 weeks, was like runny nose, nonstop, congested, couldn't breathe, couldn't sleep at night because it was like I had a severe head cold. And this lasted up until I gave birth. Like it was a 30-week long severe head cold. And I'd go through 200 plus tissues a day. I just felt sick all the time. I was sneezing nonstop and just like runny nose that I couldn't control. And I'd like walk into work and people were like, "Are you okay? Like, you look really sick." And I was like, "This is what it is." Like, it just went on 30 weeks and it was miserable. And I feel like it was just kind of like, oh, this is pregnancy. But now that I've been pregnant this time around, like, things have been a lot more mild. Like I shared, the nausea has been less severe. I, as of right now, like, haven't felt that continuous runny nose or congestion that I did with Peter. And I can breathe through my nose. It's lovely. And I don't know if it'll start eventually, maybe it will, but I'm grateful for every day that I can actually breathe and don't have a constant runny nose. And I feel like now that I'm like experiencing this, and I feel probably 90 to 95% my pre-pregnancy self. Like, I just feel very normal, which I'm grateful for. And looking back at my pregnancy with Peter, I probably was like 40 to 50% myself, like, the entire time, because I was just like, I was sick. I was like, I had a severe head cold for 30 weeks. So I'm just so grateful that I feel better so far this time. And I know that this is only first trimester, right? But I know I still have a long ways to go, but just really grateful for that. And I also want to share that it's totally okay for you to not enjoy pregnancy or for something to be hard and still be so grateful to be pregnant. And that's what I feel like I felt like with Peter. And I know that I shared a lot of like the hard stuff that I was experiencing with Peter, but I didn't realize the extent that it was so hard. But I didn't like share all of that and like allow myself to be like, this is really hard, because Peter was my pregnancy after miscarriage. And I was just so grateful to be pregnant. And so I just wanted to like feel more of that gratitude rather than feeling like, man, this is really hard. And it's okay to feel both. And I feel like I'm learning that now. As a second time mom as well. So anyway, that's just my little bit of encouragement if first trimester hasn't been super fun for you either. But I'm really grateful to be pregnant again. I'm really grateful to be feeling better this pregnancy, and hopefully that'll continue into second and third trimester. And I pray that I won't experience the congestion and runny nose, like, sickness that I had to the extent that I did with Peter. Okay, so as far as bump goes, I definitely feel like I have a bump, and it was probably started at like, I don't know, 12 weeks. And man, I did not have a bump with Peter until maybe like 16 weeks, 18 weeks or something. Like, I feel like I was able to then hide it for a long time, until I was, 20 something weeks. So mid-20s probably. But this time around, I definitely feel it a lot sooner. So I'll kind of show you the bump that I have. And I definitely notice it a lot more at night. I feel it a lot more. But it is funny how they say, like, your second pregnancy you show sooner. I've definitely noticed that. I will also say that I wasn't the exact weight I wanted to be at my start of pregnancy. And I was maybe like 5 pounds more than I wanted to be. But I feel like that just also plays into kind of this insecurity that I feel if I'm like, is this a baby bump, or is this just because I wasn't the starting weight that I wanted to be? But I'm trying to remind myself that, like, again, I'm so grateful to be pregnant, and that like my body is growing a baby, and like I'm supposed to get a bump. I'm supposed to have a belly again, and not like stress out about that. But here, let me show you my bump. I guess it's kind of hard since I'm in all black, but here you go. I feel like there's definitely something there, So thanks so much for hanging out with me for this 3-month update. Let me know in the comments below when you are due with your baby. And okay, look, now I'm not ghostly. Now I actually have like coloring, but okay, whatever, that's fine. Anyway, thanks so much for hanging out. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any future videos, and I will see you in that next one. Bye.